Are you negotiating with a narcissist or in the process of negotiations, or you're going to have to, and you want to know how to spot malicious intent when you're dealing with a narcissist in your negotiations? By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to spot that malicious intent and be able to shut it down before it takes its hold on you. Hi, I'm Rebecca Zung, and I've been recognized as one of the top attorneys in the country, and I have a couple of best-selling books, Negotiate Like You Matter and Breaking Free, a step-by-step divorce guide. And I have dedicated my life, my channel, my resources, and everything that I do to helping you get out of that relationship with that narcissist in a way that allows you to feel whole and complete and feel like there was an equitable or a fair result, you know, something that you can actually walk away with and embrace a life of freedom, possibility, and purpose. So if you are ready to do that and you want the tips and the tricks and the resources on how to do that, you should subscribe right now. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then you'll get notified. All right, so you are getting ready to deal with a narcissist, and you know, you're in the middle of drama, trauma, and chaos for sure, and you can't even think straight half the time because you're under siege. That's what happens when you go into the discard phase of a narcissistic relationship. Remember, there's the love bombing, then there's the devaluing, then there's the discarding. And if you want to know more about those three phases, definitely check out my videos on each one of those topics. But when you're in that discard phase, that's when you start to see the birth of the smear campaign, and all these things are coming at you at once. And when you are in that phase, the narcissist basically wants to take you down. They want to get you before you get them. So you're going to start to see them doing things. They're going to start lining up their flying monkeys. They're going to, you know, meaning these third parties. What flying monkeys are was a reference to the Wizard of Oz. And the Wicked Witch had her flying monkeys, and these people who just sort of like sat on the side of the evil person and just kind of went along and didn't really realize what was going on. And that's what flying monkeys actually really are. I mean, they're people that the narcissist is lined up to be on their side or against you. And in their perfect world, both, right? On their side and against you, which is perfect for them. And they want you to feel like you are ganged up on. They want you to feel like you are isolated, that you are out of it, that you're excluded, that there's nothing more for you, because they want you to be suffering. I've actually had somebody who said, you know, I think that he wants me to kill myself. That's not the case, actually, because if you did that, then they wouldn't have any more narcissistic supply. What they really want is to just make you miserable. They get off on that. It's totally sick. I mean, that's what it is for them. They actually kind of get a high out of making people miserable. And that's why they drag out litigation. That's why the negotiation process takes so long. You know, I have a private Facebook group, which, by the way, you are certainly welcome to join. It's called Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung, and I did a survey in there and asked people, how long did your litigation take? How much did it cost you? And do you know that a huge percentage of people said it cost more than $100,000 and it took more than 3 years? Why do you think that is? Because you are dealing with a narcissist in negotiation at that point. And what's driving them? It's not to come to a nice resolution. It's not even to win. No. Newsflash for you. A narcissist is not in it just to win. They are in it to make you miserable, to devalue you, to squash you, to hurt you before you hurt them, to make sure that everybody knows that whatever happened with the relationship was your fault and that they're the perfect ones and that you're the villain. They might even call you the narcissist. You never know, but that's what's going on. So when you are in this entire process of negotiation, what are some signs of malicious intent? One of the very first big, huge, honking red, arrows should be that they constantly move the goalposts. And why do they constantly move goalposts? Well, if you want to know more about that, you should definitely check out my video on why narcissists constantly move goalposts. But why do they do that? They do that because they enjoy the process of making you squirm, manipulating you, intimidating you, scaring you, dragging it out. And so what does moving the goalpost mean? It means that you will get some kind of an offer from them. And even if you go back and you say, I'll take exactly your offer, word for word, every single thing that you put in your offer, I accept. They'll come back with, sorry, that's no longer available. Or it's available, but I'm adding this. Or I'm taking away that. And why do they do that? They do that because it drives you crazy, because it allows them to continue to lead you around by the nose. It's like a little ring in your nose that they're leading you around by. They love it. And they love seeing you squirm. And they love asserting that control over you. So that's a huge red flag that you're dealing with someone who has malicious intent, is constantly moving the goalposts. And if you think that what they're doing is so sick, give me a so sick in the comments. The second big red flag that you know that you're dealing with somebody who has malicious intent in a negotiation is you see these ultimatums like right from the beginning. I just recently had this. I was representing a woman in a divorce, and her very malignant narcissistic husband was coming in to negotiate. We had a mediation set up, and he comes in and he starts right off with, I want my dogs back. Now, these dogs that he wasn't taking care of. They were starving, and his adult daughter went and got the dogs and brought them to her house and refused to give them to him. This wasn't even anything that my client had anything to do with, other than the fact that she's on better terms with the daughter than he is. And he starts off the mediation saying, I'm not doing anything today until I get my dogs back. I want the dogs. Go get the dogs. Go bring them to me. And everybody's supposed to scatter around and do exactly what he wants. He really was trying to show the world, everybody there, that he's in charge, that this is how this is going to go. I'm in charge of the day. And so he picked something that was quite ridiculous and made everybody squirm about it. And here's the mediator over talking to us and saying, what can you do about the dogs? And my client's on the phone with the daughter. Can you get the dogs? Can you do something with the dogs? And the daughter's like, I'm not giving up the dogs. So here we spent the first hour and a half of the mediation not even talking about anything that has to do with the divorce. There's a very huge red flag of somebody who had malicious intent. His intent was to control. His intent was not to come to a peaceful and reasonable resolution of that case. So that's another huge red flag, is that you see these ultimatums happening right away. And a third red flag that somebody has malicious intent is that they're not actually coming to the table. They're not trying to mediate at all. They just are constantly dragging out the case, more discovery, sending out motions, doing all these things, but you can't get them to actually come to the table and have a conversation with you about resolving the case or the issue, whatever it is. You can't, what is it that you want? They don't give you an offer. They just completely avoid the entire conversation. There's another example of malicious intent. So if you are getting ready to negotiate with a narcissist or with anyone, make sure to grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet. Do not walk into the room without it. And you can get that at winmynegotiation.com. As I mentioned, you can join my private Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. I'd love to see you in there. And if you like this video, give it a like, give it a share, drop me a comment. Let us know how your negotiations are going. Or you can just say so sick if you think that they're so sick. And make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm so glad you stopped by my channel today. If you're dealing with a narcissist, you need all the light, courage, and support that you can get, and we're sending it all to you. So remember, today's a great day to start negotiating your best life. I'll see you in the next video.